Hi, my name is Angela Meiritz-Reid and I go under the name of Stamping Beauty in my Stamping Up business. I've been wanting to do videos for a while now, and the enforced lockdown here in New Zealand has given me the time to do it. I hope wherever you are in the world you are keeping safe and coping with this surreal situation. And my special thanks go out to all the people still working in essential services. Thank you for continuing your amazing work. We're truly grateful. The lovely Kelly Kent organised a social blog hop with the theme of hello. If you pop over to my blog at www.stampingbeauty.co.nz, you can check it out. This is the card I made, and I thought I'd like to show you how I made it. I've also been making it in an array of different colours. So we'll get started. So I've started with a Whisper White card base, and I've cut a mat, and it's about 3mm smaller than the card front, and I have embossed it with the Subtle 3D embossing folder. It's my favourite embossing folder. If you've followed me before or do, you know that I use it a lot, and so to save a little bit of time I've already pre-embossed that. And then what I've done is I'll just move these out of the way so I don't end up splattering them as well, which I've been known to do. I have splatter on my wall from watercolouring. It might be a wee repainting job having to happen over these next few weeks. So I've just got the champagne mist. I love this, and I have an aqua painter that I have specifically for glitter, so that I'm not constantly cleaning it. So for this, because on my card you'll see it's got this in the middle covering, so I only need to splatter around the edge. Just randomly pop a bit of splatter around. Okay, and then I'll pop that to one side to dry. It doesn't actually take too long to dry, which is good. And then while I'm doing the splattering, I'll do this embossed piece as well. So what I've got is a rectangular sized piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I will tell you that is about 10.5 centimeters by 7, or if you're an inches person, that is about 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. And then what I've done with that is run it through the rectangle stitch die, so I've made it so it pretty much there's not a lot of room for error. So here we have one that I've already pre-made. A wee trick for when you're popping this through your big shot is to put it on a little bit of an angle. It seems to go through a lot smoother and not make those sort of clunky noises as it does when it goes through straight through. And then once you've done that, you want to emboss it with the gorgeous Parisian Flourish 3D folder from the new mini catalogue, and I have one pre-prepared here. And then before I go on to splatter that, I'm just going to cut a piece of cardstock. For this one, I'm going to do the flowers in Calypso Coral. So I'm just going to cut a bit of cardstock in Calypso Coral to layer under that. So I just layer that up under there. Just to so it gives it a little bit of a mat. Put to one side, and then I'll splatter this. So this one, the splatter is mainly sort of around here, so dip that right in there, and then flick that around. The only problem is just about not getting lines, because sometimes you flick and it just ends up with a big line of splatter, which sort of, I don't know why, it just looks kind of weird. And then put the lid on, because one day I did not put the lid on and I had champagne mist for Africa. Right, so just put that to one side to dry. And then the next thing I'm going to do is, you'll see I've got some little Night of Navy pearls on that one. On this one I've actually done the rhinestones. So using my dark Night of Navy Stampin' Blend, I'm just going to colour these. I'm just doing them now, so pop them away to dry, because they do just take a few moments to dry. Right, those to one side, so I've got a lot of things drying everywhere. So then I'm going to stamp the floral images. I'll use my Memento ink, which works with the blends. Just stamp that up. And then I also want another flower, so I'll just clean that off. What I do is just have a little, I can't even think what it's called at the moment, spritzer, just spritz a bit on there or on my stamps. So that just makes access to water a little bit easier. Take those up, peel those other ones off. It's a little bit wet, which is probably not a good idea. Oops. Don't tell anybody. Just dry that off. And then I'll just stamp one more up. Yep. Right. Close all that up. And then what I'm going to do is run that, pop all the dies on there. And of course, once again, just run that through my Big Shot. So I have some already pre-prepared. Here we go. And so I need my Calypso Coral blends and my Granny Apple Green blends. So for colouring these, it doesn't need to be difficult. It just was over the whole leaf in the lighter colour, and you can leave a bit of white if you'd like, a bit more light, or later on you can go back in with your lifter pen and take a bit out. And then I'll just do a wee bit on this bottom of this wee bud. So if you've seen any of my cards, you'll know this is one of my favourites from, or the favourite from New Mini. I do tend to just buy something from the catalogue and then just thoroughly use it, which I like, because then I feel like, you know, I am making the most of it and getting my money's worth. Right, so those are the leaves, and then the same with the flowers, just totally colouring in the image. because the shading that's already there is a really good, you know, you may as well use it. It's been done for you a bit. So and then if you've done what I've done, actually I was going to check that in the catalogue and the colouring tools. I'll just do that while I've got you here. Oh yeah, this chalk markers. Just thinking, oh, what if it's not in anymore, but it is. So you'll see I went over the line a bit because it's been a bit rushed. I just quite often use my little chalk, Stampin' Chalk marker to go over any pieces that I've done any errors. So I'll try and do this a bit slower. It's kind of a little nerve-wracking doing a video. I'm used to doing classes, but of course with the way things are at the moment, until we know when it's going to change, there won't be any classes at home, so we'll just have to adapt ourselves to, actually I might use the other end, to the way things are. So put me out of my comfort zone a little bit, but so yeah, just, and yeah, you may as well make the most of the artists that have created these beautiful images and gone through the trouble of working out where the light goes for you. And if you did feel you wanted to put some little light bits, just use the colour lifter, and I just do a bit of a on the sort of clearer areas, and it just lifts enough just to put a bit of a light. It doesn't always work straight away, but it works, so you can see it working afterwards. Right, that is that. So the next thing we're going to do is the hello. Now that is 2 centimetres, well it's about 1.9, but 2 centimetres fine. And on here it is 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, about 11/8 of an inch if you want to be particular. And then I've used the tailored tag punch, and I like that. I just slip that in there just to get that little tag. I like that because it's just gradual. Otherwise the banner punch does the same thing, but it's a deeper tail on it. And then using the hello from the To a Wild Rose stamp set and my Night of Navy stamp pad. This stamps up beautifully. And then just, I use my fingers a lot for measurements, about a finger width away, so roughly want it to go about there. I'm just going to bring it down here so I can line that up. And that just stamps beautifully. And I love Night of Navy. It just little less harsh sometimes in the in black. Just check that that's sort of, yep, that's great. It's always good when you've got one that you've already made as a guide. It's good to not recreate the wheel. So now what I'm going to do is layer up the flowers. So I'll use my snail. Oops. Oh, it's run out. That's why that one's not working. Maybe I won't use my snail. I haven't got another one handy. I'll just use a bit of glue, which is good because you can move things around. And there are two ways I can just either use that as a bit of a guide, or sometimes what I do is, if I want to get it exactly where I've done it before, is just pop it on top. So I can use that as a bit of a, oops, now I'm dropping them. It's a bit of a guide, and then just pop that up there. And then my bud. And then one of my flowers. It doesn't really matter which way that goes around. Just pop it on there. And then, oh, the other leaves. Tuck those in. Here. And then this last flower uses dimensional. Just pop one of those on there. Just tuck that, let's see, over there. And then what else am I going to do? The next thing, oh right, the next thing we'll do is we'll just turn it over, and I'll pop dimensionals along here because I'm going to use the twine and stick that onto the dimensional. So I'll just take that off so that I'm ready to go when I've got my twine ready. So there are a couple of options for Night of Navy twine. You can either use this twine and split it, or this twine and split it. It's about, I use about 40 centimeters, so just use it, I'll show you. So it's about the length of, it's about 40-ish centimeters, so the length of your pad. Set it off, and then just separate those, just pull it out. Then you don't need, you could use all of that, but there are about 4 strands in there, so I've just split them again, so then it makes 2 cards. So, and then just pop it on the back of the dimensional. Just pop it around there, twist it up here. So I sort of like to do a couple in one place, so it's going to get stuck to this thing, and one, got a mind of its own, this bit of twine. Yeah, just see how that looks on there. You can always, oh, I don't really fiddle around with it, but that's a bit, that looks a bit weird, that one. Want just a little bit uneven, that there, and then I don't mind having the wee bits hang out, but not that much, so I'll just trim that off. And then sometimes if you've put a bit too much twine on the back of the dimensional, it's not going to stick, so I just top it up with a bit of glue, and sometimes I pop a bit of glue on them anyway, so that gives you a little bit of wiggle room. So actually I'm not quite ready for that yet, so I'll just pop that to one side. So now we'll make up the card. So we've got the card base, and then we've got our piece of embossed and shimmered cardstock, and I'm a glue girl. I know everyone has their method they like best, but I find this quick and easy. It does give you a bit of a few options if you don't get it in the right place or you change your mind. So that's the first thing. And then secondly, I've got my bit of embossed rectangle, so I'm going to pop that on my Calypso Coral piece of cardstock. So once again, glue that down. Just pop that on there. And then this I've popped up on dimensionals. Just pop some of these on the back. I like to give enough that it will not bend or droop. Just check that I haven't, it did go, it hasn't moved, no. Sometimes if you're a bit quick to get on to the next part of your project, you can move a little bit. Backs off. Then just line that up to go on there. It looks okay. I like to have it a wee bit up from the bottom more than the top. Right, press it down. Then we'll go get back my piece that I've got ready, my hello, and just bring that up to about there. Because I can sometimes show another way of making sure things are lined up, just lining that up along there. That, just thinking, does that look straight? Yep. And then I did have, you can, and another option instead of using the shimmer mist is using your Wink of Stella, so you can just use it, does the same, similar sort of, just add a bit more sparkle. And then we'll get the, if I can find them, yep, the pearls that I've coloured and I've lost. Usually I use a pair of tweezers, and of course been crafting for, I hear that, a few days. Nothing's been put back. Let's see now. It's gone flying. Oh dear. You find it weeks later attached to something else. You might have seen where it went. No, it's gone. So I will just quickly colour up another one. Go onto there. It's weird, they go for miles. It's a bit like the backs off the dimensionals. You find those in all sort of funny places. And then that one, I did have it up there, but there's a bit. Let's pop it on this side because there's a twine there. And there we have it. So now I've got one in Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, Pool Party, and Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to work my way, I'm going through all my blends and see what other options I can come up with. So thanks very much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed my first video, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Thanks very much. Bye.